everybody. Welcome everybody. It's YouTube. Good morning. And if you don't know who we are the tax sale master. Okay. Tax sale master. Okay. And we do tax lien investing, tax deed investing, and tax redeemable deed investing. So as I'm walking out here in the morning, okay, we kind of do a live for you. Give you a live of education, knowledge about how the tax sale works, okay? So as we're walking around here, you can see this house. We kind of walk at the same block every morning here. Nice area, quiet. And tax sales are what? People who don't pay their property taxes. People who don't pay their property taxes. And then you have the right to pay their taxes for them. Okay, you have the right to pay their property taxes for them. Okay, and so that's what we do. We do it around the country, but we'll talk about the state of Kentucky this morning. State of Kentucky this morning. Okay, we were over at TikTok, did a little video over there live, so bouncing over here now, talk about the state of Kentucky. Well, Kentucky is a tax lien auction state. Tax lien auction state. And remember, in a tax lien auction state, you're going to be a lien holder on the property. So you're going to be bidding, but you're not going to own the property at the auction. You're just going to buy a lien on the property. That's it. Now, if they don't pay, then you can petition to have the property to go to a tax deed auction. Now, the thing that I don't like about the state of Kentucky is that when you start the foreclosure, it has to go to a public auction. It has to go to a public auction. So it's very unlikely that you will get the property. Okay? Now, Kentucky is a good property for a tax deed auction, in my opinion, a tax deed auction. Because what happens is the people who bought all those liens, they have to go to a public auction, a tax deed auction. So if you bought, say, 2, 3, 4 liens, and let's say 1 or 2 didn't redeem, then you're gonna have to petition, and you're gonna have to pay all the fees yourself. You'll get reimbursed if the person pays at the tax deed auction, okay? But you're gonna have to pay all the fees to have your lien go to a deed auction. And remember, in the tax deed auction in Kentucky, it's an open forum. It's whoever pays the highest amount at the auction will win the property. So that's why I don't like it so much for the lien auction, because you'll never get the property there. You won't get a great property. You know, if a property is worth, say, $300,000 and you paid only, say, $5,000 for it, and you know, it's not like falling down or anything, you won't get the property at all. You know, it's going to go to a public auction, and then at the public auction, is it going to jack up the price? They'll jack up the price to a higher amount, and then whoever wins there will win the property. That's how it's going to work in the state of Kentucky. So you basically have, in my opinion, you have a lot of these people who are going to cherry pick a lot of the properties. It's a rotational type of auction of which properties you want to buy the liens on in the state. And rotational auctions are all held in person in the state of Kentucky. Someone 8134. Good morning. Someone 8134. Okay. Good morning. So when you're doing the tax sales, remember, these are people who don't pay the property taxes. We're not here to say, oh my God, property taxes are bad, or it's unconstitutional, or we're not here to say, oh, I love paying property taxes. No, we're not here for that. All we're here for is giving you education and knowledge to our best ability. There's too much other political stuff going on around our country and our world. They call it geopolitical now. It's kind of interesting how everything words, they change a little word, for certain things. But that's the thing. But we try not to get into that. And in the tax sales, remember, these are people who didn't pay their property taxes. I went to Mexico about a couple weeks ago, and I talked to at least 10 people there at the resort. Nobody can tell me exactly what happens if you don't pay your property taxes. Nobody can tell me. Well, they all know that. Say, well, you have to. I said, well, what happens if you don't? I said, well, I know they'll probably put a penalty or an interest charge with you. I said, but what happens exactly after that? We all know that. Nobody can tell me. But I'll guarantee you the people who have a lot of money, they know. I'll guarantee you 100%, that there has to be a system in place. But I'll bet you most of the public doesn't know the system. Think about it. I really believe there is a system in place if you don't pay property taxes through a city or government by rules or guidelines or whatever. And the rich people, ultra rich people, know it because they don't broadcast it. They don't tell people about it. Here in the United States, different. They broadcast it as best as possible. But 20 years ago, no, people didn't know it because there was no way to broadcast it. It wasn't on YouTube or it wasn't on TikTok or none of that stuff. Over here it is. So you go to YouTube all the time. You can type in tax sales or tax lien investing, tax deed investing. They're there all the time to see. So it's different. But I tell you that other countries have to have a system in place. You just have to find the right person or the right rules of how they do it. And then once you know how to do it, then you're above everybody else. Because if they have a system in place and nobody knows about it, do you think somebody's going to go out there and start telling people about it? No. Okay. Jim Bisley. Good morning, Jim Bisley. Of course they're not. So I was talking to myself. I said, what happened if you lived in a different country and you were a citizen of that country and you really looked into what happens if people don't pay property taxes really aggressively, start going to the city, going to the county, going to the state, finding out the rules, read the rules and regulations, find out exactly what happens. I'll guarantee you'll find something that other people will not find in your country. There has to be a system. There has to be something happens. It doesn't matter if it's in Mexico, the Philippines, in Spain, in Argentina, whatever. There has to be a system in place that if a person doesn't pay property taxes, that the government's going to do something about it. There has to be. Here in the United States, because now more and more it's on YouTube and all this stuff, but still a lot of people don't know exactly how it works because every state works differently. And then you decide what state you want to invest and what state you don't want to invest in. That's how easy it is. What state do you want to invest in? Which state you don't want to invest in? People ask me that all the time. I say, okay, well, tell me what state are you interested in doing? And they'll tell me a certain state. Okay, tell me the rules of the state then. I say, well, I don't know. I said, well, then how do you know if it's a good or a bad state? Okay. Not gamer feel you. All right, good, thank you very much. Whatever. So that's the key. Is that what? If you don't know the state, then you don't know if it's a good or bad state. I'll tell you something myself. I won't do Kentucky. I won't do Kentucky as a competitive bidder at all in Kentucky. I may just do it for fun. Just say, okay, yeah, I bought some liens there, 3 or 4 liens there for fun. Okay. Jamel James, Abdul Hero, welcome. Carmen, good, welcome. Welcome, guys. Okay. I won't buy it there. I won't buy there. Now, if you want to buy the deed auction, which is buying the property in the state of Kentucky, I would say yes. You want to probably look in the state of Kentucky to buy the property at the tax sale in the state of Kentucky. It's like Ohio. Yes, I would say, yeah, I would want to bid in Ohio for the tax deed auction. Yeah, I would want to do that at all. I would want to do it. And then you just get your financing set up in that particular state for a tax deed auction. No, I'm not. Well, myself, no, I'm in the United States. I'm in the United States. Okay. So wherever you're from, I would really, if you're, whatever country you live in, go to your local city or county, whoever you pay property taxes to. Okay. I talked to, when I was in Mexico, I asked them, they said, well, you have to pay to the city. I said, go to the city and ask the tax collector, what happens if a person doesn't pay their property taxes? Can you tell me the steps by steps? Or is there something in writing I can read? Okay. Oh, you're from Iran. Oh, okay, somebody's from Iran. Okay. So go to the city or the county and find out exactly what happens if you don't pay property. Everybody pays property taxes most of the time, I believe. Mexico, I talked to them, I said, do you pay property? Yeah, we pay property taxes. I said, okay, find out. Because you might be way ahead of everybody else in your country. It could be a good opportunity in your country to know that, to learn that. Okay. So anyways, that's it for this morning. We talked about Kentucky. All right. Gave you some information there. We appreciate everybody watching. And we do live for a few minutes. Okay. Follow us here with the Tax Sale Master. We're also on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Tax Sale Master. Okay. And appreciate everybody watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.